and a jolly good morning to you from a very bright and crisp cold January morning here in London, and to be more specific, North London at Hampstead Heath, London Overground Station. It's an underground then, London Overground Station. And today I'm going to do something I've not done for a little while, and that's a walk around London. I've done plenty of walks around London, but one involving one of my go-to apps for walks anywhere in the UK, not just London, called Go Jauntly. I spotted one on there yesterday, which is basically a walk around Hampstead Heath and Highgate area. I'm going to amend it slightly and start it from here rather than where the walk on the app starts. I'm going to take a walk from Hampstead Heath station up to Parliament Hill, see if we've got some nice views this morning over London from there. We should do. It's a beautiful clear day and the sun's just coming up, and then continue to the start point on the walk around the Heath again, and then finish up in Highgate. So it should be it's around about 4 miles. I think it's not a particularly long walk, even with the added bits I'm putting on here, maybe 5, and well worthy of your time if you have it. If you like walking in the cold, then obviously this time of year is great, or come back in summer, and by the time I publish this video it may well be summer or spring at least anyway, but certainly if you're up on Hampstead Heath and the weather's a bit inclement, make sure you got the right gear, because it can be a bit blowy up there, and also obviously there is some shelter but not a great deal of it. So, as I say, London Overground Station, Hampstead Heath, and just heading up the hill here past the Magdala Public House, which looks a fine establishment, I have to say. I don't know anything much about it, but I'm going to just cross back over the road here and go on to Parliament Hill itself. Great starting point for any walk around Hampstead Heath. Don't even want to begin thinking about the starting price of houses in this part of London, but suffice it to say, it will be high. A very desirable part of London if you like living in cities, of course, and big cities like London. This will be an extremely pleasant place to live, but you will need the funds to do it. That is absolutely certain. So just coming up to the top of Parliament Hill, the road and residential street, and reaching Hampstead Heath and the area on the heath called Parliament Hill. Quite often there's a lot of people stood there taking photos on a nice day, and I think today will be that when I actually get up there properly, as the sun just comes up over the east end of London, or in the easterly direction. Should have some nice views, so I'm looking forward to that. Might be great timing on my part. It's accidental rather than anything else, but there you go, we take it, don't we? Hampstead Heath is quite high up, and as you can probably tell by my panting walking up the hill, and a great green open space for people to get out and about, walking around, walking their dogs, jogging, so on and so forth. I'm just going to start off by going to the Parliament Hill viewing point, which is the best view you'll get off the heath, looking over towards the City of London, Canary Wharf, and so on. Sun's just starting to come through, just risen above the horizon. It's, as I say, it's January, and it's about 8 o'clock in the morning, and it's about -2 Celsius, so it's certainly a good day to have a brisk walk, as you'll see from the worn out grass. This is where a lot of people take a shortcut up to the top. It's been very wet and muddy recently, so grass has worn away a bit, and this looks like it's going to be lovely views. Presumably there will be, and I shall be posting those pictures now. See, that was perfect timing. Probably about 50 minutes later, 50 minutes early would have been a little bit better. For some fabulous views over London. You can see the post office tower there, or BT tower, whatever it's called, and right in the distance there I can see the TV masts up at Crystal Palace or Sydenham, in that general area, which is a high vantage point from the south of London, so another great place to get out and see some great views of the city, and of course the main part of the city there. So I'm filming straight into the sunshine, but I think you'll get an appreciation of the lovely sunrise we've got this morning, and quite a few people up here. Great place to come for a morning walk, particularly on a day like today when it's actually dry, albeit freezing cold. So anyway, that's enough of that. So I'm going to head on now to the starting point, at least, of the Go Jauntly app, which the walk on that particular walk didn't come up as far as Parliament Hill, so I thought I'll just add that in at the beginning, and we'll head off now to another point over there somewhere on the heath and see what we see along the way. Any of you that have looked at some of my other videos, you'll probably have realised that a lot of the time I do my walks partly using things like Google Maps and Go Jauntly, but very often just particularly in cities, just a general wander around. Let's get lost in this city and see what we come across. You'll find a fair few videos like that, and particularly while I'm abroad, when I've got less knowledge of the local surroundings, and just apart from a few key attractions, tend to just have a little wander about and see what I find. And it's incredible what you do find sometimes. But today, as I say, apart from this little first bit where I've deviated up the top there of Parliament Hill, I'm going to just go down to the bottom here somewhere, which is a starting point, I think, at an entrance to the heath, where there'll be a walk that's been uploaded to the Go Jauntly app, and it will take me around the heath and around the ponds and so on, and then into Highgate for a little look around there. So looking forward to this. It's sometimes nice just to religiously follow a route that someone else has produced and see what it is that they find appealing, and normally they're pretty good. As I say, I've got a few walks that were also with the help of mostly Go Jauntly, sometimes just Google Maps, and sometimes just following my nose. So have a little look on the channel if you're interested in seeing some more. So the views I just showed you there, that's Highgate men's bathing ponds. There is a ladies bathing pond as well, which I'm not entirely sure where it is. I don't think it's this one here, or it could be. I can report that despite the fact it's -2 degrees in January, there were a couple of guys over there about to get in the bathing pond, which is very brave of them, because certainly over this one over here has actually got ice on the top of it, so it's going to be a chilly experience this morning, but fair play to them. And I did hear one or two choice words being expressed, presumably when one of them stuck a toe into the water, but anyway, I'm sure it's very good for the circulation and for your overall health, as long as you don't actually freeze while you're doing it. You wouldn't catch me doing it, incidentally. Right, so I've come to the Highgate village entrance to Hampstead Heath. That's Merton Lane, I think it's called. That's where this particular Go Jauntly walk starts anyway. So, as I say, started from Hampstead Heath, London Overground Station, walked up Parliament Hill, went to Parliament Hill on the Heath, and I've walked across from that general direction. Parliament Hill's just over there, and I'm going to just follow this walk around the Heath, which hopefully will point out some interesting detail, and finish up in Highgate. So this is a part of the Heath and a part of London that I've not been to before. I've been up to the other part of the Heath and Parliament Hill before, but first time I've come over this side. And I believe that is a boating lake, or was. Just seen some signs telling you not to bathe in there, so presumably not the ladies' bathing pond. Absolutely glorious morning. If you don't mind a bit of cool air, it is absolutely fabulous. As you can see, that is the model boating pond apparently, and over here is the bird sanctuary pond, which I can't see an awful lot of from here. I've certainly got birds in there. Annual clear out of the drainage ditches there, I think. Certainly been plenty of water to wash debris into them over the last few weeks, and I can see by the state of the paths and some of the walks across the grass how muddy it has been. Certainly where I live, it's I think the term's a quagmire, and it looks like it was here too, but as it's we've got a bit of a cold snap going on right at this moment and things are frozen up, it's actually quite good to walk on now. Plenty of grip underfoot. Heading up to Kenwood House now, or in the direction of it at least, following this app. Plenty of people out jogging this morning, which is good to see. I was going over one of the streams that feed the ponds up here before the water continues off down the hill. Probably into the River Fleet, or what was the River Fleet, and so on. I mean, just look how muddy it is here, or was, but this would have been awful to walk through a day or two ago, but because it's frozen up, it's not too bad now. Sometimes when you get in these parts of London, parts such as this on the Heath, it's hard to believe you are actually in London, and quite close to the centre of London at that. I mean, obviously there's always a bit of background noise, aircraft arriving at Heathrow and London City Airport, and traffic is always there in the background, but yeah, pop your headphones on, noise cancelling, pop on a bit of tranquil music, and you could literally be out in the middle of the countryside. If you look where I'm stood now, there's absolutely no visible signs of a massive metropolis surrounding me. So just coming up to what's described on the app at least as Highgate Gate, which does make me smile slightly. I'm not sure if it's actually called that or just Highgate. It reminds me of Battersea Power Station. Well, I'm going to be going through Highgate Gate. See if it says anything here. English heritage. Kenwood House and Shop. Kenwood Brew House. What's they brewing there? Beer? Interesting, shall I have to investigate. Certainly delighted to find some of these quieter corners of Hampstead Heath. It can get pretty busy up here. As I say, first thing in the morning, middle of winter on a dry day, not too many people about. Usual array of joggers, dog walkers, and sometimes jogging with their dogs. But other than that, it's fairly quiet. So I've just come up to another edge of the park, another entrance. There's a road just ahead, but I'm going to be taking a left turn by this building and fence down towards Kenwood House. I believe I'll be walking around it, past it, and circling back round towards the original starting point earlier on. And then out into Highgate Village, I presume. It's one thing I do enjoy about the using an app with a preloaded route that someone's kindly uploaded into the app. Because you can just, if it looks appealing from the outside, just follow the app and see where it leads you, rather than doing some homework about it and trying to work out which way you should be going. Just follow the app. And looks like we're just heading in towards the front entrance area of Kenwood House. Seems to be open until 4 p.m, so this part of on the Heath is not open all the time. The rest of it, of course, is just public space, so you can come on here at any time of the night or day, although I doubt it's too much fun in the middle of winter in the pitch dark. There's not much lighting up here, but certainly in summer with lighter skies it's probably quite nice in the evening, so have a little stroll around up here. Just walking into the grounds again of Kenwood House, and there it is, in fact, just in front of us over there, through the trees. Well, so it's open daily, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. in summer and 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. in winter. And it's free to go in and have a look around. It's too early for me to go in today, but I shall certainly put it on my list of things to do for future escapades around London. I can certainly walk around the outside of it. Looks an interesting place. It's an English heritage building, so it'll be well maintained and looked after, and I'm sure looking absolutely splendid. Rather randomly, another English heritage sign here advertising a little known place called Stonehenge. And the exhibition down there, well worth it. If you've never been to Stonehenge, I don't suppose it's going anywhere anytime soon, but pop down when you can, well worth a look. So I've just walked away past Kenwood House, and the walk essentially takes you up to the woods there, which I should be going to in just a moment, and you curve back round by the tree line, I think, over there. I'm just going to go and have a little look at this sculpture here. Just over there through the trees is a kind of a top of a hill. It's marked on the map as Mount Tyndall. I think calling it a mount or a mountain is probably over-egging it slightly, but for this part of the UK, I guess it is higher than usual. It's the slightly uneven surface on this path. I know what would happen if I went jogging along it. Absolutely, I'd be tripping up, but I've not seen anyone else doing that as yet. I do like names of things, and I'm always interested to find out how they receive their name, but slightly out of keeping with such a nice part of London. The area just over there in the trees, according to the map at least, is called, I think I'm pronouncing it correct, as the Spagnum Bog. Yeah, it sounds intriguing as to why it may have got that name. If anyone knows why or what a sphagnum is or whatever, then please add it to the comments. But I'm guessing it might even be a type of plant or something like that, I don't know. So back through the woods, and as I've said before, it's very, if you use your imagination at least, hard to believe you're not actually in the middle of London while walking around in here, apart from that background noise. And if I wasn't doing what I'm doing right now, I'd be wearing my headphones with some gentle music playing, a bit of noise cancelling, and you really could be out in the countryside. Absolutely fabulous place. It's one of my favourite times of year to walk, when the weather's nice, when it's a clear, crisp day with the sunshine out, albeit freezing cold. It really is a nice time. You don't get too hot or anything like that, and it's really quite relaxing and calming. And the bonus at the end of it, very often of course, is a nice warm drink in a cafe, which is certainly what I'll be doing when I get to Highgate Village later on. One thing you need to do if you're using an app, I mean, it doesn't really matter if you take the wrong path, I suppose you will eventually find your way back. But if you're trying to follow the route of a particular walk and want to follow it to the letter, then you do need to keep looking at your app quite a lot, because there's a lot of paths, they wind around quite a bit, and you can soon be off on the wrong one. Not that it really matters, of course, excuse me, if you're just interested in having a lovely walk around the park. There's apart from Kenwood House and the sculptures and so on around there. There's not any particular points of interest in here other than the fact it's just a nice place to walk around. So yeah, you may as well almost just take whichever path takes your fancy. Well, I'm heading back towards the fairly close to where I started in here by the Highgate Village entrance, and we'll continue on into Highgate Village. So the section of the walk I'm on that's actually inside Hampstead Heath is kind of a figure of 8 really. I originally came up from that direction over there and went off through there, and that's Highgate Gate again. So I've gone around most of the 8 now, just heading back down straight across here down the hill, and we'll eventually bear back to somewhere close to where I started by the entrance, Highgate Village entrance, but I think I actually be leaving through a different entrance and exit, but fairly close to where I started. There were some public loos actually just by that entrance. It's worth noting. There's also a cafe and shop up at the Kenwood House and 1 or 2 other facilities in here, but other than those, I haven't seen any more public toilets. There may well be, I just haven't come across them yet, but just starting to feel a slight warmth from that sunshine as well this morning. Starting from a very low base of 0 heat, but at least when the clouds clear and the sun is out, although it becomes very frosty, you do get that little bit of bright sunshine shining on you, which is definitely good for the soul. Slight vagaries of the app, or at least how the routing has been set up on it. I'm going out through the same entrance and exit point. In fact, there isn't a different one nearby, it's the same one, it's just how the routing's shown on the map. So just walking along this path now. Just to my left is the North London Bowling Club, apparently hidden behind that fence. Very nice it is too, I should imagine. Unfortunately can't actually see it. And just kind of on the perimeter now of the heath, and once I get down here I'll come back to that entrance close to where the public toilets were, and then head on up towards Highgate Village. Just this is the entrance to the Kenwood Ladies Bathing Pool. It's quite shielded off by trees and so on, and signs clearly stating ladies only, men not allowed, etc, etc. So I'm not sure if there's going to be anybody actually going in there bathing today, but my hat is off to them if they are, because it's certainly a crisp morning and probably not the most wonderful experience, though apparently jumping into icy cold water like that is very good for the circulation, so I may have to try it sometime, although I've not gathered up enough bravery yet, to courage I should say, to go and do that. There were certainly some guys in the men's one earlier on, sort of dipping their toe in. So this was where the Go Jauntly app led me to in the first place, after I'd come down from Parliament Hill, and where I started the figure of 8 portion of this walk. I don't know, about an hour and a half ago now. As I say, at this entrance there's some public toilets there just on the right, and I'm going to go back this way up towards Highgate Village, have a little brief look around there and then conclude this walk there. just heading on up Merton Lane now towards Highgate Village. There's no real need to start to use an app unless there's somewhere specific that you like to head to at Highgate Village. Assuming there isn't, just head on up here until you reach the centre and have a nice look around. You'll see some very plush properties, some very nice shops, some great places to stop and have a beverage or two, and cafes and such like. It is what you would call a exclusive part of London, and you'll find that the prices are probably equally as exclusive. When you see some of the security gates in these houses and so on, you know that some extremely well-off people reside up here. However, I'm not going to intrude on their privacy by pointing this camera in at them. But if I'm getting across the road, I will just show a little bit of Highgate Village once we get there. Of course, once you're off the heath and into Highgate Village, it has that small town feel about it up here. Again, it doesn't feel like you're in the centre of a massive city. It genuinely feels like a rural town somewhere in the home counties, or yeah, somewhere like that, I guess. Despite the fact you're just, well, not many minutes really from the centre of London, the city of London. And that's what I like about it up here, but of course these sorts of privileges do come at a very high cost, which most of us simply cannot afford. But if you can, and you like a place like this, then absolutely fabulous. See, it's even got an old traditional phone box there. Not saying it's going to be working, because it probably won't be. Very few of them are these days. I think I'm taking a right turn here to end my walk just down this road. This is Waterlow Park. For those of you who know this part of London, you'll know where I'm headed to now and where I'm going to be finishing this walk in a few minutes' time. And that concludes this walk over Hampstead Heath and just through Highgate. And as many of you may recognise, I'm stood now outside Highgate Cemetery, which is a fine place to either begin or end such a walk. If you want to visit Highgate Cemetery, there is an admission charge of £10. They also do tours for £8. There are concessions for children and so on and so forth. Now, if you don't know anything about Highgate Cemetery, it is very famous. It's got a lot of notable graves here, or graves belonging to people here, including Karl Marx, George Michael, Malcolm McLaren, Clement Freud, and lots of others too. So it's certainly got plenty of interest if you ever wish to come and have a little look around. So anyway, thank you for joining me on this walk around this exclusive part of North London, a very nice part of North London. I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and I've particularly enjoyed the fact the weather's been absolutely stunning today, albeit very cold. So if you're interested, or if you've enjoyed this video, please click the like, press subscribe, do the yellow bell thing, you know the drill, and maybe go and have a look at some of my other walks around London and various other places. Thanks again for watching. Cheers for now. Bye.